Hey gang, Will here from Ashland Fly Shop with a fishing report for you for February 24th, late February. Let's get into it. Here we go. All right, we're gonna talk about the Rogue right off the bat here. You know, we've just had such crazy weather the last couple months, which is really okay for right where we are here because we don't have a ton of like upriver fishing in the Rogue until about now. So January, February, sort of, you know, we don't see too many fish. So it's great to get all this activity, weather activity, you know, with the flows going up and down on the Rogue. It's been great. So even just yesterday, we hit like 10,000 CFS at Dodge, which is absolutely bonkers. So, so we had another big flush. Looking at the outlook though, it does look like we're gonna get into a more stable period with some rain. We've got some nice sunny days coming up and then we're gonna get some rain. It looks like it's gonna settle down, which is great because it's a good time to start poking around a little bit, I would say, in the upper river. Going out and having a look, some of your favorite spots. Expect high water, you know, until, you know, for several days, you know, look at those CFS, you know, once we get to 3,000, 30, you know, 2,500, that's where we like to be, where the river looks fairly familiar. And then hopefully we should start seeing some fish sort of show up around that time, onesie twosies here and there. And then once we get mid-March to like mid-April, is what I feel is really go time on the upper Rogue, depending on flows and stuff like that. So that's a good target time. But yeah, we're gonna have a fairly fishable river pretty quick, which I haven't been able to say for a little while. So that's what we're looking at on the Rogue. Just a quick bit about the holy water. We're getting some warmer temperatures. If you're fishing the holy water, little trout section up there, we're getting some warmer temperatures, so that will really get any blueing olives going. So if we get overcast days, any kind of drippy days, which we do have coming up, it looks like about 5 or 6 days out, that's a nice time to be up there. You might run into some dry fly fishing. Streamer fishing is always a good bet up there, and as we get a little warmer air temps, it will kick the water temps up just a tiny bit. And then that can be good for streamer fish. It just gives the fish a little bit more active. So holy water's been a little tough, a couple little bright spots, but it's definitely worth happening. And to keep in mind, overall on the Rogue, the flows are low up top, as they typically are. So the holy water is actually, you know, like 1,000 CFS, which is very typical for winter. And then that whole just little upper dog leg stretch through Casey is pretty low too. So if you're just dying to get out, that's kind of your only bet. So that's holy water section, very upper river, and then downstream through north of Medford area there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Umpquas, North Umpqua. That is probably been one of the better bets. It does come into shape a little faster than the Rogue, but it also that watershed tends to get more precipitation, more rain than we do. So it is just out of sight. I think it was like, it was like almost, 100,000 or something at Winchester. So huge flows just pushing through there now. So definitely gonna be multiple days until that's back in shape. But the Umpqua is a very good bet for winter steelhead and continuing into that sort of early April time, again, depending on flows. So that can be good. And if you enjoy going up there, it should be a good time coming up here pretty quick. The little Applegate River here, out in the Applegate Valley, gets a little bit of attention this time of year. March tends to be the peak time to be out there. It did jack up pretty good to about 3,000 CFS, but it's gonna settle down pretty fast. And they really hold that water back at Applegate Lake. So typically we're dealing with flows that are too low. I think it's gonna be good. Again, several days, but it should settle nicely. And I have always liked to fish the Applegate on the higher side. So there's a little more water in there. So look for those CFS in like 500 to 1,000, which it'll probably hang out in there for a while. So that's a nice area to be. Again, March is a real peak time out there. So if you enjoy getting out there, that's a good bet coming up here pretty quick. Just a last little thought, if you're just really jonesing for some trout fishing, some early season trout fishing, you know, the next couple months as we get into March and even into April can be some great trout fishing in Northern California. If you follow us, you know we really like to fish down there. I actually did a little bit of fishing at Hat Creek a few weeks ago. Had a really nice day down there. It's open year round now. Upper Sac is open year round. Lower McLeod's open year round now. So for someone that's, you know, really wants to get out and explore a little bit, if you haven't been down there that time of year, I'm sure it's really quiet, really beautiful. I've always really enjoyed fishing the Upper Sacramento in the winter. So I'm happy to talk to you more about that. You get to watch those flows a little bit, but they should settle in pretty well too in the same time frame that we're dealing with up here. But that is a lot of fun down there. Really one of my favorite things to do in the winter is go down there and do some trout fishing and give myself a break from chasing steelhead in the wintertime, which is a very masochistic endeavor. So happy to talk to you more about, you know, about Northern California if you want to go down there. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. That's what we're looking at for the region. Give us a shout here at the shop for any up-to-the-minute you know, feedback. And if you're planning on coming up here and doing something, love to talk to you about it. That's what we're looking at from Ashland Fly Shop. Thanks so much.